In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about travel news and give you an update on an eTravel situation you don't want to get caught in. It's free to sign up for eTravel here in the Philippines, and there's some sites out there trying to charge you quite a bit of money to sign you up for the eTravel, which you need to do uh, up to 72 hours before you arrive in the Philippines. You can do it up to 72 hours early. And if you haven't done it, they will pull you aside when you get off the plane, bring you over to the computer, and help you go through that process right here. Basically, it's doing on a computer what we used to do on little pieces of paper in the airplane. They would give us information: where are you staying, what's your contact information, have you traveled to uh, any countries with yellow fever, different things like that. Are you your customs declaration? Are you traveling with any banned substances, including more than 10,000 U.S. dollars? You can travel with more than that, but you have to declare more than 10,000 U.S. dollars, and you may want to be able to prove how you came about that. Even in the U.S., there are reports of customs and highway patrol. If you're carrying large sums of money in your vehicle, if you can't prove how you attained it, they will confiscate it. It might take you a long time. You may never get it back. So be aware of the rules and risks. A friend of mine who is registering for eTravel went to the site, did a search. He thought it would the first thing on the list would be the proper eTravel, filled out the form, and in the end they asked for a credit card to pay the $79 for somebody else to fill out the free form. Anyway, he understood that it was supposed to be free. He canceled the whole application process. And after some work, some searching, exploring, finally found the correct site. I had the same experience. I tried to do the same thing and had an issue with trying to find the right site. I did a search for eTravel in the Philippines, and I clicked on like 6 different links. None of them brought me to the official site. So it's frustrating. Number one, frustrating, and even government links, customs, immigration, other links, did not have a link back to the eTravel proper eTravel site. It just had an article about, oh, you need to do the eTravel, new information about the eTravel, but no links to the site. You know, if I was going to complain, I would complain about so many of these articles that you just start getting interested. You think you're going to get the information you want, and they end without providing you a proper link, complete information. Anyway, eTravel.gov.ph. I will put a link in the description of this video. eTravel is free. You can get an app on your phone, Google or the Apple Store, and click here to sign in. Put an email address, make yourself a password, or log in if you've already registered an account, or you go down here if you need to create a new account. Create a new account there, and it will lead you through all of the information. By the way, we're just entering the high season: October, November, December, January, February. So, but the point being, don't get scammed. You do not need to pay anybody to sign up for this free service, and the site is quite easy to navigate once you actually get to the actual eTravel.gov.ph. And we're over here on travel.google is the site, and I hit flights, best dates. You got a price graph and date grid here. Anyway, Google is an advertising company. They make their money advertising, billions of dollars, I think. And Google.com, travel flights, track prices, skyscanner.com. Some of you have used them. I have Traveloka, cheapflights.com, PH, Cebu Pacific, the direct airline flights, cheap flights. Let's just hit this. Anyway, you get a lot of advertising even though you want to go one particular place. Los Angeles International, not Burbank. Cebu City. Departure date, November, the 28th, which is Thanksgiving in the holiday in the U.S. That showed up as the date of one of the cheaper flights. So I'll just plug that in. A lot of people uh, travel before that date to get to their relatives, some destination. And let's make this one way for now. And as you can see, the prices show up. Prices show up. You can go backwards. You can go backwards here, and it has it in pesos. But here you can check. You can check any dates, and you can go over here to date grid. You can use a price graph or a date grid. So let's go to the date grid, and so you can check days before that date. See, the 28th is almost the cheapest. Yeah, about the cheapest. Here on the 26th also, 25th, and Monday, December 2nd. Okay, let's try the price graph there. See what happens there. There we go. Price graph gives us information that they have from November. All right, I found it way down at the bottom. They've got the currency, location, Philippines, English language. So there, we can change that to not U.S. dollar, not Japanese yen, not euro, British pound, and all the other currencies. If you want to look at those, and that'll change that. Makes more sense to me. Although I can convert pesos to dollars fairly easily. I still, when I'm looking at flights, prefer to look at dollars because that's what's on my credit card. Yeah, 466. I said what, 470. So yeah, pretty close. They're using pretty close to the same. Now we're going to get into a little bit about this construction scam, and I've got some personal knowledge about it and some advice and warnings if you're going to do any home building, remodeling. Uh, many years ago, on a recommendation of somebody that I knew, I did an interview with. I don't know. I don't remember his title. If he was a contractor, an engineer, something like that. And because of that video, at least one of my subscribers hired him to do some remodeling, an addition onto their house. And I found out later that a number of people, a Korean guy, a Filipino, a number of different people had used the same guy, and I'm not going to name names and get into real specifics because I'm not sure if I've got all the details exactly accurate. But basically, this is the way it went. People contacted this individual. He come up. He did a quote. He said, "Don't worry about any permits, anything else. I'll take care of everything." And as I was told the details, I think he would then put up a sign in front of the construction site, and he would hire other contractors, subcontractors, if you will, under him, and he would tell the person that hired him, pay me, and I will pay the contractor to make sure that you don't get overcharged, overbilled, that type of thing. So the people would pay this particular individual, and he would pay the contractors who were doing the work. At some point in time, uh, the contractors would be there, but the materials would never show up. So they're waiting there 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, no materials, and they're trying to contact this individual, find out what's going on. Anyway, as time passed, it was difficult to get a hold of this individual apparently, and they just hired somebody else. They bought the new materials that they needed that basically they had already paid for. They'd given this guy money for those materials, and so he, for the second time, he had to buy those materials and use those contractors and or hire somebody else to do the work. So the Filipina wife that was involved in this project, that was on the buying end, I think one of her relatives actually went to school with this guy, so they kind of had some knowledge. Well, this guy's been around many years, and since high school. Somebody knew about him, and so they felt that that was a little bit of a plus. Um, in the end, I think the way it was told to me, they checked with the engineering certification people, and turns out this guy actually never did have an engineering degree. Um, so anyway, it's how big is the scam? How wide is the scam? Is he still out there doing those sort of things? Uh, check the background. Check the background of people. Check with the city. Permits have to be pulled on a lot of this stuff. Check and see if if that contractor, engineer, whatever, is known by the city, by the various people, and do your background, do your due diligence, if you will. And yeah, my understanding is after a few years, I talked to this individual, the guy who has been still actually finally hired a private individual to help finish his remodeling, that they are still chasing this guy. They will try to serve papers on him at some barangay. They will try to find out where he's living, and then they'll try to serve papers, and the barangay chief will say, no, he doesn't live here anymore, so it's hard to track down because you have to serve papers apparently in the barangay that he's living in. So I don't know if he's moving around the Philippines or just Cebu, doing work in different areas, collecting money, and then moving on to another project, and difficult to catch up with him. Apparently, this is what I was told. And it is quite common, if any of you have been thinking about building or remodeling. Um, many people say, if you're not there supervising every day, you tell them you want something done a certain way. And I've heard this from a couple of my landlords as well. That they'll say, yeah, they understand. You've drawn out everything that you want, the way you want it done, and once you leave, the Filipinos will go back and do it their way, not your way. Whether that's whatever was your desire, I guess. And this area we're walking around, I think it's Pitos, Barangay Pitos, up in Labangan area, kind of on the north end of Cebu City. I think there are 3 different subdivisions, all kind of connected, the same developer. And there's Camilla Homes, not very far from here, subdivision as well. Yeah, and we're not too far from Pristina Hills. I've done videos up in that area, that big subdivision. And quite a number of big subdivisions up in the foothills. A lot of vegetation, a lot of lots. I visited here, I don't know, 4 years ago, I think, and many new houses going up, many expats, Germans, Austrians, Australians, Americans from the U.S. A lot of new houses, but still a lot of lots available. My friend up here said, if you're going to buy a lot, buy 2. Gives you more room to plan, and you're not sandwiched in between 2 other houses. Anyway, thanks for coming along. Stay safe. Safe travels. Are you coming to the Philippines still in 2024? Safe travels. We'll see you.